Rejection is so hard because it brings to surface trauma from when this has happened to us in the past. It triggers our fight or flight because it's an unsafe situation that we don't have control over, and can often put our minds into a panic mode where we can't rationalize the situation properly. Hi everyone, my name's Hiba. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I have a strong passion in helping others and I hope to help you today. What I've learned in an article, which I can't find right now, but it's super interesting, is that when we hang out with someone that we love or when we're doing something that we love, the chemical of enjoyment that you receive from that drains out of your system when you can no longer access it. I'm not explaining it in the scientific way, but essentially what I'm getting at is when you feel such a high from a person or a situation you've been in and you unexpectedly have it taken away from you, that feeling of this drug or chemical, you can end up having a come down and it can almost feel traumatizing. So how do we fix this? How do we navigate the situation? First and foremost, everyone's different, so everyone deals with situations differently. However, if it does help you to think, in the same way that it helped me when I was going through a breakup, a really unexpected one, I was much younger and I really liked this guy and we were having, it was a new relationship. So I think we were together for about 3 months and out of the blue, he just ended things. And if I'm completely honest with you, it's the first time I've been broken up with at that point. So I never experienced that feeling of like a guy just being like, no, I don't want you. And it was a tough one. I think it was a situation where he was from another country and he wasn't even sure if he was staying in the country, and he was very new and he spoke French and not English. And I just about spoke French, he just about spoke English. So it was like a whole thing of like miscommunications and stuff, but instead of him communicating that he wasn't interested, he just disappeared. And that was really triggering for me, because of things from my childhood where people have left me, and it felt so traumatizing. It sunk me into like a depression, a deep dark depression. I hid away from the world, I isolated myself, and it still upsets me to this day when I think about it, even though it happened about 7-8 years ago. It was just so triggering, and me reading that article, that it's kind of like this chemical experience in my mind where it's just that imbalance from going from like having, I don't know if it's like dopamine and then it kind of goes down. Thinking of it scientifically just helped me. But if that doesn't help you, there's so many ways that you can overcome it. We first help our brain to become out of fight or flight. You're not being rational when you've first been rejected or you've lost a job or you had some sort of rejection, whether it's friendship or dating or whatever situation. And so it's hard to be rational when it's so fresh, in the same way that if, God forbid, you broke a bone, it doesn't heal immediately. You need to give it that time. So some ways that we can get ourselves out of fight or flight is really tap into our inner child and say, what does our inner child want? How can I nurture myself right now? How can my inner adult nurture my inner child? Have a day where you don't care so much about healthy eating. I know a lot of people say don't go to unhealthy eating when you're feeling down. It's okay to have like a one-off where you go buy yourself a cupcake, like your favorite cupcake, and treat yourself like how you treat your inner child. Walk in parks, stare at the sky, look at animals, feel that feeling of awe and joy as much as you possibly can in such a dark moment. Allow yourself to feel the emotions, allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to be angry. This is how we release the emotions, and that will actually help us heal quicker. So don't deny any of these feelings. Just know that you've been through so many tough things in your life, you got through on the other side. And don't beat yourself up for being a human and having feelings. Sometimes you have unanswered questions, and that's okay to feel really, really out of control from that. So let yourself have your moment. Get in your safe bubble. Only hang out with people where you feel safe around, ones that you don't feel judge you, ones that you feel like give you that space to kind of speak and care about you, care that you're hurt. If you don't have that safe bubble, do you have some sort of therapist? If you don't have therapy because you can't afford it, I personally use BetterHelp. I really like BetterHelp, and you speak to them and you tell them that you can't afford something and they reduce the price for you. And as long as you find a therapist that makes you feel safe and not judged, that really helps. And motivational podcasts. Aisha Christina is really, really good for talking about dating related rejection. I really like Isabel Palacios, and I like Haley Gamba as well, so search for them on YouTube. And your confidence is going to be knocked right now, so you don't have to watch confidence building YouTube videos right now, but they're really great maybe in a few weeks time. Those YouTube channels are really good at helping you rebuild your confidence, so I highly recommend them. There are amazing podcasts, amazing books. Books I really like for when I'm feeling really down or like feeling almost depressive. I do like Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And if you're going through a big breakup, or if you've been rejected from a job, I highly recommend The Mountain Is You, because it's really good for all sorts of life situations, and it teaches you how to have faith in yourself for overcoming difficulties. And I just want you to remember that there are around 8 billion people on this earth, so just remember that this one person that you really love is not the be-all and end-all in life. Like, there are more people out there for you. Sometimes getting perspective on your life is like a painting. When you're painting for ages, or you're trying to learn how to draw, and you're just sat there for so long, and you're putting together this painting, and then you realize when you're done that it's a little bit wonky, it doesn't look quite right. Sometimes we have to step away from the painting in order to see what needs to be fixed, to see from far away what's wonky, what kind of doesn't look a bit right. So sometimes when we take a step away from our lives, try and get some perspective, have a breather, take a step away through meditation, being around animals, being in nature, slowing down. Eventually we can gain that further away perspective from our lives to realize that we have been through hard things before, and we can get through hard things again. One of my best friends, she's studying to be a therapist, she gave me some really great advice, and she said to me, it's almost like when you're trying to rearrange your room, you want to do it up, you want to move around the furniture, you need to kind of step almost outside of the room in order to see where you kind of want to place everything, what needs to be tidied, what needs to be added, what needs to be removed. You can do that with your mind, you can do that with your life. It's always a very, very helpful tip that I try and remember so that I don't get stuck in my head. Don't always believe what you think. If you're thinking dark thoughts, especially at nighttime just before you're sleeping, that is not going to help you. Sometimes it's just our emotions taking over, not reality. If you can, at nighttime, try and wind down, try and go to sleep if you can, have some herbal tea, do a nighttime meditation. You can find them on YouTube, because thinking about things at nighttime is never, ever, ever going to be helpful, because we're more tired, and we're even less rational at nighttime because we're too tired to be rational. I want you to remember that you have so much going for you, and you've just been knocked down a little bit, and you're going to find that person or that job or whatever it is that you want, but it's going to be even better. Rejection is redirection. The universe is directing us to our greater good, and I want you to have faith in that. It's always so amazing when I see people trying to put in the work, trying to put in effort to improving their lives, rather than getting stuck in a bubble, stuck in your mind, and never learning and growing from life situations. I was in another situation where I was broken up with. I've been in quite a few relationships, kind of like just throughout the years. And so there was another one where I got broken up with. I've basically been broken up with twice in my life, and they both felt horrible. And the second one was really hard because I was with someone for a year and we got quite close. And it was very, very unexpected. And that triggered childhood trauma once again. So I really, really needed to work on my trauma with a therapist for that. If you can't afford a therapist, I suggest you do some shadow work questions when you're feeling a little bit better, and you can find them on Pinterest and Google. And lots of YouTubers on here teach you about shadow work, so you can find that on YouTube as well. And if you are able to really see the core of where these things come from, you'll notice with every life experience, you do feel stronger and stronger and able to deal with it a bit better, especially if you heal that deep-rooted trauma. As Eckhart Tolle says, our pain bodies are triggered by certain life experiences. Our pain bodies are something that is a trigger from out of the blue that has really, really got us down or really made us depressed. And it kind of takes these negative things in our lives to happen to us for us to realize what our pain bodies are, and therefore what needs to be healed. Now, when you start to feel stronger and you get through this, I want you to make a note of what things really helped you get through it. Was it learning the science behind heartbreak and rejection? Is it learning what friends you can go to? Is it seeing what things you can do for your inner child? Really have a think of what things helped you so that you can be better equipped for future situations, because life has its ups and life has its downs, and we can just really try and learn from these experiences to get better and stronger so that it's less painful next time, because we're more prepared. Find some daily affirmations on YouTube to remind yourself how amazing you are. Time to remind yourself. It's time to be reborn through this crumbling down and this darkness. Be reborn through it like a butterfly from a cocoon. I really hope that this somehow helped you, and I just want you to remember that you are so worthy. And a final reminder, I've already mentioned this, but another reminder, you have got through so much worse in your life, and you should be proud of yourself, and you can get through this as well. Sending you all so much love, light and good vibes, and I hope to see you at my next video.